Hey everybody, welcome to the SoundCloud podcast, episode number 105. And as always, thank you so much for joining me today and listening in. If you are new, welcome, and check out some of the other episodes on the page. All episodes are available on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Music, so make sure you are subscribed so you can get notified for a new episode every Tuesday. Make sure to follow me on YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook at thescylounge. Stalk me on Snapchat at DA13IG5UNG. Let's get started. I apologize for this not being uploaded on Tuesday. I understand what I said in the fucking intro. But hey, I procrastinate. And what you're hearing right now is my chair. So I'm going to go ahead and get a move on to the other chair, the recording chair, as I like to call it. But hey, once again, guys, I really am sorry about uploading this a wee bit late. And I really don't have any excuse other than the fact that I'm a big fat cunt. And I tend to procrastinate a lot. And I could blame it on a lot of things. And you know what? Let's play the blame game today. Let's go ahead and play the blame game. On the topic of the week, the morbid reflection of athletics, sports losers. Yeah, you basically know what episode 105's topic of the week is going to be about. I saw 3 of my teams lose in a final this year. Okay, I saw 3. I follow 5 teams. Okay, guys, let me tell you what right now. I follow 5 teams: the Los Angeles Lakers, the Los Angeles Dodgers, the Seattle Seahawks, the Arsenal Football Club over there in England, and the Vegas Golden Knights. And I saw 3 of those teams lose in a fucking final this year. Arsenal I saw early. This was the earliest loss I felt this year, and it was Arsenal. I watched this club get decimated in a club final, 3-0, and I watched a legendary manager lose in a League Cup, a cup he has never won in his 22 some odd years at Arsenal. He has never won a League Cup, and he lost again, 3-0. And here's the thing: there's still only one Arsene Wenger. Okay, that's no ifs, ands, or buts. I still rate Arsene Wenger. He is the greatest manager Arsenal has ever had in their history, in club history, period, bar none. And I saw the Golden Knights, early this summer. I was actually at Game 5 to see my team lose and Ovechkin lift the cup he's been chasing for like 14 fucking years, so I couldn't even be mad at that shit. It was inspirational. All the fans high-fiving each other. There were grown-ass men who were crying in Washington jerseys, and I felt so great for them. I'm like, this is amazing. What a great feeling to witness and just see the awe-inspiring looks on their faces. I was just like, wow, this is incredible. This is what sports should be about. And I told everybody, listen, we'll be back. We'll be back. And with the Dodgers, they were back. They were back in the World Series. They were at the World Series last season against the Houston Astros. And we lost in 7 games. Fuck you, Yu Darvish. I still hold a grudge against you. And now you're in the Chicago Cubs. And fuck the Chicago Cubs. But the Dodgers went back to the World Series. And I admit, I was really hopeful. I was saying, you know what? Man, this Boston team looks great. But I said Dodgers in 6. I'm not going to lie to you, boys and girls. I said Dodgers in 6. I was fucking wrong. Dodgers lost in 5. We lost back-to-back World Series. Like, I'm so frustrated. No, but here's the thing. I'm going to say this later in the episode too, but hey, congratulations to the Boston Red Sox. Seriously, you guys earned every bit of that win. I hold nothing against you guys. I'm just frustrated that 3 of my fucking teams lost in a final this year. Like, do you understand how fucking frustrating that is? Oh my God. I just kept thinking to myself, like, you know what? Maybe something good might happen. Maybe, just maybe, something good might happen. No. In the losing moments, you just feel this sort of blind optimism hit you out of nowhere. And you're thinking, man, I hope we win. I hope we do well. And when the lose happens, when the loss happens, all this shit happens. Losing sucks, man. Losing fucking sucks. I'll tell you more darker shit. I lost my dad this year. My God. 2018 is all about taking L's for me. And this goes beyond sports. Taking L's sucks. Sports betting. God, when you take the fucking L on sports betting, it sucks. Video games, when you lose fucking video, it sucks. Listen, losing always sucks. Okay, it really does. Because that emotion you feel from whatever optimism you felt, that positivity, that positive feeling, whatever you felt then crumbles down. And that is a horrendous feeling to process. Okay? The crumbling down is an extremely difficult thing to process. And, I'm not going to lie to you. This year, I felt the full blow of that shit every fucking aspect, almost every aspect of my life, really. And you know what I got to say to that? You got to learn to be a graceful loser, man. You got to learn to be a graceful loser. That's the thing. That's the key. It's not the be all end all shit. But listen, you got to be a graceful loser. When Arsenal lost, I said, you know what? I'm mad right now. But look at that Manchester City team. Look at that Manchester City team that beat Arsenal. My God. They dominated us in every single step of the way. Goalkeeping, defense, midfield, attack forward. It was unbelievable. Vegas Golden Knights versus Washington Capitals. Washington Capitals, from depth chart to just superstar power in Ovechkin, and Holtby just playing his brains out and making that clutch save against Alex Tuck, I believe in Game 4. It made a difference. I think it was Game 3 or Game 4. I can't remember, but it makes a difference. The Dodgers, like I talked about, completely outmatched. Completely outmatched. And when you become a graceful loser, you get to be on the objective side. You finally get to be on the objective side where you ask yourself, let's take the feelings out. And what happened? You get to ask objective questions like, what happened? When did this happen? Where did this happen? How? You get to ask the questions without feelings. And that gets you to the truth. That gets you closer to the truth, right? And honestly, there is some greatness in truth. There really is. But like the NERD song suggests, the truth will set you free, but first it'll piss you off. And that's how emotions work. It really does. But here's the thing, boys and girls. You can't let this shit eat you up on the inside. That's a waste of your time. You got better things to do. You take the L, you process it, process that shit. You really do have to process it. Some people might take a little longer, but you can't live in it forever. Take your time to process it. Processing takes time. Digesting takes time. And once you shit it out, it feels better. It will. And ultimately, guys, to quote the great song by Eric Idle, always look on the bright side of life. All right, guys, all games and match reviews are on the YouTube page at the SkyLounge, so make sure you check that shit out for more detailed, in-depth analysis and opinions and feelings about the games. Okay, so Arsenal, Europa League group stage round number 3. Oh my God. We go to Sporting Lisbon and somehow win on a Thursday, 1-0. Real sloppy D, though. I'm not going to lie to you. The D was sloppy. Like a messy hung porn star, it was sloppy. And there was only one goal. And who could it be but that guy Welbs? clutch as fuck in the 78th minute. Because as sloppy as the defense were, the goalkeepers were on point. Lino and I think it was Ribeiro for Sporting Lisbon. Fantastic goalkeeping by both of the lads. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I was like, my God, these two guys are getting theirs. They are going at it. And I was having a blast watching it. And surprisingly, we were still aggressive after the goal was scored. Sporting actually lost the plot a little bit after the goal was scored, though. I'm not going to lie to you. Coates losing his mind with some of these tackles, just not being able to finish off in the third, and Arsenal just kind of being more prompt with the ball, more aggressive. And I really like that shit. And this made it 11 straight wins in all competition. 11 straight wins in all competitions. How the fuck did that happen? Great footballing against, again, minor oppositions. But you know what? I said this, and I still hold to it. The Leicester City match was a huge litmus test for us. I also believe this Sporting Lisbon was a huge test for us too. And I thought, man, if we can get a win in Lisbon, and again, I get the argument, and my buddy brought it up, my good buddy Ryan brought it up. Sporting Lisbon isn't doing so hot in the Portuguese league, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm actually going to look it up right now. But when you get to go to a opposition league in Europe in a Thursday and be able to grab out a 1-0 win and leave, it's fantastic. And they're fifth, by the way. They're fifth in the league, in their respective league. And we're able to drop them at home 1-0 and nick off a fucking victory, 3 points. Now we're on top of the Europa group standing right now. My God, I would take that any day. And that 11 straight win, and I was just thinking, they look unstoppable. They really look unstoppable. This is outrageous. But unfortunately, weekend comes around. Here we go. At Crystal Palace on Sunday. And I thought, maybe, just maybe, we might be able to get a win. But it didn't look like that in the first half, honestly. Crystal Palace was asking all the questions. They looked solid. We kind of looked a little lost on offense. And we conceded a late penalty in the first half. And this was conceded by Mustafi. And to be honest, I was in bed during this part, so honestly, I didn't really mark the minutes down on this game just because I was just trying to focus up on, can we fucking win? And concede the penalty in the first half. We come back in the second half, and Xhaka, my God. So granted, Xhaka plays a left back now, which is, that boggles my fucking mind. But Xhaka scores a free kick goal, and this was outrageous. And I've said outrageous a couple of times, but this was a fucking banger, man. From the right-hand side, he fucking curves that shit in, 1-1, and we look solid. And a couple minutes later, Aubameyang, and again, questionable call not made. Lacazette might have had a hand there for the pass. And Aubameyang taps in for an easy goal. And Aubameyang, there's some stat out there, I can't recall the specifics, but he is the highest goal scorer in a 10-game stretch in Premier League history. His per goal ratio is ridiculous. What more can you say about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang? This guy is the real fucking deal, boys and girls. I can't believe people were doubting this guy. This is unreal. But what was real was the manager not noticing one player who I thought should have been substituted out. Now, Ozil getting subbed out, I kind of get it. He always has these recurring injuries, and I personally wouldn't risk him either. He gets mad, but I'm like, listen, for the betterment of the team, we're going to sit you out. But I thought the real mistake was not subbing out Lacazette. Subbing out Aubameyang, I thought, was a huge mistake by Emery. And it showed because Lacazette, while all the Arsenal players were set up. They were perfectly set up to make this a 3-1 game and close it out. Lacazette makes a bad back pass to attempt to get it to Torreira, but that ball is intercepted, goes all the way down, and Xhaka, who is a novice left back, okay, let's preface this, he's a novice left back, but he's been doing a pretty damn decent job, unfortunately concedes another fucking penalty. Jesus! And we blame this on Xhaka, but I'm looking at this entire situation like, wait, hold on now. There were 4 or 5 players near and outside the box, in the Crystal Palace box, and somehow Lacazette, who I really do love Lacazette, man. He's one of my guys. Like, I fucking bought his kit. I truly believe him as our number 1 striker alongside Aubameyang. I mean, I would love to play a 4-4-2 in some regard. But he made a fucking mistake. That was a fucking shitty mistake. And here's the thing. We defend all our strikers at times when they're shooting well. But you also have to criticize them when they're not, when they make mistakes. Whether you're doing great or poorly, you have to pinpoint out certain aspects of your game. And in that point, Lacazette fucked up. And we end the match 2-2. So we draw the match, and I thought it was a fair result. Crystal Palace was asking all the questions. Unfortunately, they didn't really have a play to make the goal scoring happen. It was a penalty, which I always say, all right, penalties are penalties. They're generally a given. If you miss it, it's terrible. If you get it, it's a guarantee. And it looked great. It looked great for them. For us, I felt like, okay, first off, I thought the player choice of substitution, that was questionable at best. And defensively, we didn't look all too great. So it was an okay match. And this week's take for Arsenal, really, I love our aggression on offense. I love this aggression on offense. There isn't this whole, all right, we're gonna be super patient about it. No, it's let's go. Like, we know what the fuck is up. We know what fucking time it is. Even when we're 1-0 down, I don't really worry anymore. This is the crazy thing about Arsenal now. When we're 1-0 down, I don't really worry anymore. I should be more worried, but I don't. I just flat out sit there like, okay, cool. Like, we should be all right. We'll probably nick off a point if we can, based on our style of play. And what I'm worried about is, can the boys keep this up? The November fatigue may come in. We have to be careful with how we approach November. November is going to be a very, very dangerous month because it starts off next week. Okay, the Carabao Cup round of 16 versus Blackpool on Wednesday. Can't wait for that. It's a round of 16 now, and now it's in, it's always the knockout stage, but round of 16, it means something. And Premier League week number 11, Liverpool at home at the Emirates, November 3rd, late match, 10:30 a.m., I believe, in the United States, Pacific Standard Time. I don't know if I'm going to go out for that one. It is a bit early. Good Lord, it's fucking early. And simultaneously late somehow. So we'll have to see about that one. And there are so many news in football right now. There are so many news in football right now. But let's go ahead and just rub some salt in the wound here. Fuck the Spurs, because the Spurs stadium was delayed again. Hilarious. El Clasico happened and Barcelona beat Madrid 5-1. Oh, Jesus Christ. And Luis Suarez got the hat trick. Scumbag, but great striker. Okay, that it is what it is. And after the match, Real Madrid sack Julen Lopetegui. Santiago Solari will take over as manager. A lot of question marks going in to what the fuck is going to happen with Real Madrid at this point. They have looked so terrible. I believe they have dropped down to 7th or 9th place in La Liga, if I'm not mistaken. I don't even know. It is a fucking embarrassment as to what's happening with the Real Madrid. And fuck you, Fiorentina players. You kind of deserve this, yeah, asshole. But guys, there is an owner who deserves nothing really but respect. And news came out: the Leicester City Football Club helicopter crashed outside of the stadium before the Leicester City versus West Ham United match. Leicester City owner and 5 others in the helicopter were killed in said accident. I do apologize if I, butcher this name. Vichai Sri Vadan Prabha, the owner of the club, was also one of the people inside that helicopter. He bought the club back in 2010, and he saw it being promoted to the Premier League. And eventually, this was a man who from all accounts, from all the players' accounts, from all the stuff you read about him, was a catalyst for this club becoming the juggernaut that it would eventually become. This was the man who said, we are going to be in Europe in due time, in a couple of years, back in 2013, 2014. People laughed him off. I even laughed at that. I did. And, there was some animosity when Leicester City won the Premier League and Arsenal finished second. But at the end of the day, it was an unbelievable run by Leicester City in 2015-2016 season for them to win the Premier League with players who more or less were throwaways, and for them to just decimate the Premier League and come out as the number 1 title winners with head coach Claudio Ranieri was awe-inspiring. It was fantastic to watch them. And they have been a top 10 club consistently with the players they brought in, with management, with head coaching, with player development. It's been incredible. And this owner deserves nothing but respect, really, for what he's done for this club, who really would have remained in anonymity if not for his investment to the club, his love for the club, his appreciation for the players, the staff, everything about this club was this owner. And so thank you for what you've done for football, Vichai Sri Vadam Prabha. A legend, and you will be missed. And I apologize for not pronouncing the name correctly. And, hey, my heart goes out to all the Leicester City fans. Leicester City, y'all deserve nothing but love, man. Like, good Lord. Good Lord. You guys are fucking good. You know what's crazy? I'll tell you a crazy thing about Leicester City. I almost picked Leicester City as the club I wanted to cheer for back when I was choosing my football club. But I chose Arsenal, and I have no regrets. I really don't. And, guys, speaking of no regrets, let's talk about the Seahawks. Oh, my God. The optimism I have about the Seahawks right now is dangerous, but I kind of love it. So week number 7, the Seattle Seahawks at the Detroit Lions on October 28th. 28-14 win. Woo! Good Lord. Let's talk about some highlights in the first quarter. Detroit gets off first. 39-yarder. Too much time in the pocket for Matt Stafford, and Jones gets the touchdown in the first quarter. And then in the second quarter, I was kind of concerned in the first quarter, thinking, oh man, they got the fucking first score. I feel like it might be a shootout because Russell Wilson's on one. And yeah, he totally showed he was on one. In the second fucking quarter, he throws to Lockett first, a long floater from Russell, and then David Moore for the second touchdown. He juggled a little bit in the end zone there, but caught it, thank fucking God. And Ed fucking Dixon, welcome Ed, good Lord, off of the injury and a touchdown and a return. Beautiful. I couldn't write it any better. 3 touchdowns in 2 quarters. This was the kind of game we were having. The rushing, the passing, on point. Everything was just bam, 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 bam. It was on fucking point. And we moved into the second half thinking, oh my God, we are dominating this game. They couldn't even get Kerryon Johnson to do anything in the first half. And then we come out of the third quarter thinking, oh shit, we're still going to get one. Nick Van Nett would have had a touchdown, but was pushed out of bounds by a Lions defensive player. I can't even recount who it is. And it didn't count. Well, aside from, in the third quarter, Kerryon Johnson being a complete fucking beast, it was a scoreless quarter. And we move on to the fourth where, good God, Chris Carson. We're going to talk about Chris Carson in a bit here. Chris Carson just fucking ran through that defense on 1st and goal. And holy shit, like the fucking route was wide open. Like he fucking had to swerve a little bit, but he fucking gets the touchdown. Beautiful look by Chris Carson there. And then Jones gets the touchdown again. Because Shaquille Griffin should have covered him, but he didn't. And we got we conceded a touchdown there. But hey, it is what it is. And however, despite the fact that it was a 2-possession game, it never felt like it. I never really felt uneased by the fact that they had Matt Stafford, who is generally prone to make mistakes, and the Seahawks defense and Russell Wilson just, oh my God, it was unbelievable. And the fucking funny part was for Matt Stafford to completely end the game with a fumble and an interception. It was just hilarious. And shout out to Michael Dixon, our punter extraordinaire, fake punt and ran for a first down in the goal line. I mean, good Lord, everyone thought he would go for the safety, but it was beautiful. And here's the thing. End of the game fumble, quote-unquote fumble. The clock ran out, and our Seahawks boys caused a fumble, proceeded to jokingly run to the end zone. They hot potatoed this ball, and it was pretty fucking funny to watch. And they were just rubbing salt in the wound. And I think that the boys were just having a little bit of fun there off of the bye week. Nice little win on the road. And let's talk about some of the dominant, factors of this game. Now, Russell Wilson. Okay, let's talk about Russell Wilson. 14 passes on 17 attempts, 82.4%, 248 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. A perfect quarterback rating of 158.3. First franchise quarterback in Seahawks history to have ever have a perfect quarterback rating. Oh my fucking God. Like, can you wrap your head around this shit right now? This is the best quarterback our Seahawks has ever had in our history. Do people not understand this shit? Like, am I the one that's crazy? When I hear Russell Wilson criticisms, I'm like, you guys are fucking nuts. Give this guy a bit of an O-line. And shout out to the O-line. Shout out to the O-line for starting to block shit now. Granted, the Lions defense was not, too much of fucking work, but Jesus fucking Christ. He's been incredible. And let's talk about the other guy, Matt Stafford. Poor bastard. 27 passes on 40 attempts, 67.5, not bad. 310 yards, again, not bad. 2 touchdowns, not bad. But 1 interception and the fumble. So, he's not bad, but he always just makes those mistakes. And again, you feel for the guy. You gotta feel for the guy. Because the Lions are kind of dismantling at times. Right? And we'll talk about why. Why, the fucking Detroit Lions will be talked about in a bit here. But this week's take for the Seattle Seahawks, are the Seahawks getting my fucking hopes up right now? I'm kind of worried. We looked fucking dominant against the Lions. And to be fair, their defense and special teams are an absolute fucking mess. They are just atrocious to deal with. Atrocious as in they are just terrible. And we have slowly crept up to 4-3 after an 0-2 start to the season. So there is a lot of optimism here, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. And the one loss after the 2, I thought we were the better team and we just didn't have the fucking balls to win it. But we are absolutely the better team on the day. We just didn't fucking know how to close out. But now the great thing about the Seattle Seahawks right now, we got a fucking rushing game. Chris Carson, 105 yards on 25 attempts. Mike Davis, 33 yards on 10 attempts. That's 35 attempts on rushing alone. We're making nearly 40 attempts in rushing versus what Russell has had to do for fucking years. My God, we got a running game. We got a 3-headed running game. And guess what? McKissick's going to be back in 2 weeks. So we're gonna have fucking great options. Because I think Rashad Penny may still be used as a punt receiver and maybe a decoy. I could totally see him as like a running back. I mean, like a hybrid running back receiver kind of guy. That'd be pretty cool to watch. But man, we got our team back now. This is the crazy thing. Oh, despite all the injuries, like Will Dissly and Earl Thomas, that thing was just that made me fucking devastated. But shout out to guys like I know it's not the same position, but guys like Coleman, Bradley McDougall, Thompson, Tedrick Thompson, fucking everybody's stepping up. Like this is phenomenal. Everybody is stepping up, man. And now we got guys coming back. KJ Wright, Ed Dixon back from injury. KJ is just a solidified linebacker. Okay, KJ is a fucking beast. And him and B Wagner, oh, those two boys like linked up. It's gonna be great, man. And I'm from there. I'm hoping Shaquem gets popped in there. Like year 2, he pops up. He fucking goes, joins those guys, or maybe in the playoff. Stop it! I'm not getting my hopes up. Stop it! God damn it! I gotta chill. I gotta chill with this shit, man. All right, I gotta relax. All right, guys. Michael Kendrick's ban lifted to 8 games. So he will return November 12th against the Rams. Okay. All right, that's great. Actually, is it the Rams? Let me double check their Seahawks schedule. Yes, the Convict Music. Yeah, Michael Kendricks will be back on fucking. Oh my God, I just can't. It's just too funny, man. Michael Kendricks being back is just hilarious to me. Actually, he's gonna be available November 12th. It says, I believe November 11th. But yeah, November 11th we're gonna be facing the Rams, and so I'm hoping he's back. Michael Kendricks, KJ Wright, Bobby Wagner. Oh my God, can you imagine? Just fucking rush and destroy Jared Goff. Like, fuck up that O-line. That'd be fucking great to watch, man. Other news about the Seahawks. We released Brandon Marshall. Makes sense. 1 touchdown in, 7 games. Yeah, kind of makes sense. And with the emergence of David Moore and, honestly, Jaron Brown, getting his every now and then, it just makes sense to part ways with B. Marshall. Probably, off the books, we don't have to pay him anymore. I probably had to opt him out, buy him out of his contract and shit, but better now than later, really. And guys, next week number 8 for us, Los Angeles Chargers, November 4th. Let's fucking go. At home against a really solid team. I'm really hoping the Seattle Seahawks boys have it in their hearts to pound this win out and go 5-3, and then the week after go against the fucking Rams and beat them in LA, where Pete Carroll, remember boys and girls, Pete Carroll fucking owned the Coliseum. This wasn't goddamn Rams territory before Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll fucking owned the LA Coliseum. So fuck the Rams. Let's fuck up the Chargers. Go Hawks. All right, guys, NFL news. Congratulations to Adam Vinatieri for scoring 2,547 points as a field goal kicker. Most points in NFL history for a kicker. Congratulations, sir. Gentleman and a stud. I mean, good Lord, the legs on him after all those years. Congratulations to you, sir. The Browns fire head coach Hugh Jackson and offensive coordinator Todd Haley. Hooray! Promotes defensive coordinator Greg Williams. Shout out to Rich Eisen, who I saw on the show, the Rich Eisen show, and say on his 4th down segment that Greg Williams is crazy, and somehow the Cleveland Browns are going to win half of their games, and perhaps, be part of my prediction in the 6-9-1. Who the fuck knows? 6-9-1 for the Cleveland Browns. Let's hopefully do that shit. Let's see how that happens. All right, guys. Trade deadline was 10:30, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Trades of note that I want to talk about: the Denver Broncos trade Demaryius Thomas to the Houston Texans for a 2019 fourth, come swapped for a 2019 seventh with each other as well. Denver, you don't see yourself winning, do you? I call that a good call by John Elway. Like, dude, we fucked up. I feel like this is like John Elway's way of saying, like, we fucked up. We fucked the shit up. We fucked up the draft. We're going to fucking blow the shit up. Now get a new quarterback. Case Keenum is not worth your fucking money. Give him to Jacksonville. Seriously, give him to Jacksonville. Jacksonville needs a quarterback. Give him to Jacksonville. God, Case Keenum for all that fucking money, not worth it, bud. Not worth it. The Detroit Lions trade Golden Tate to the Philadelphia Eagles for a 2019 third. See, I told you we were going to talk about the Detroit Lions, man. So Detroit, you willing to admit you're done for the season? Like, especially in your division, are you guys done? Because I mean, as mediocre as the Vikings have been, and as dominant as the Bears and Packers can be, I feel like that division's still up for grabs. But I guess you're kind of done. And as for Philadelphia, aggressive move by the GM again. Aggressive. And I like it. I like the fact that Philly's saying, we were slow. We started the season slow, but fuck it. Let's just keep going at it. Good for them. Good for them for realizing themselves that, hey, they're not that shit. Remember, these guys are Super Bowl winners. How are we forgetting this? Are we all forgetting that these guys are Super Bowl winners and they have just legitimized their chances to get to the playoffs again? Good God. They're looking great. I'm kind of jealous. All right? I'm not jealous of, though? The Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers trade Ty Montgomery to the Baltimore Ravens for a 2027th. What? A 2027th? That's 2 years from now, motherfucker. They traded Ty Montgomery for clams. For fucking clams. You know why? Because you don't cross Aaron Rodgers, motherfucker. You just don't. You shouldn't have did that. But you did, Ty Montgomery. And Baltimore, here's the thing. Baltimore is really proving themselves like, hey, we want to go all in. We know our hype. We know what we're about. We're about solid defense, questionable quarterback, and we're going to have to see. We're going to have to see with Baltimore because they have a huge match coming up this week against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who I think will beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. And we'll talk about that in Piggy Skin Picks this week. So be on the lookout for that at the Sky Lounge YouTube channel, boys and girls. Make sure to subscribe there. All right, guys, let's talk about the Lakers LeBron watch. There's 4 games to talk about. Now, boys and girls, with NBA action and, also subsequently the NHL action at times, I will be highlighting bits more or less because I do these match reviews. I do these game reviews all day, every day, which you guys should definitely check out at the Sky Lounge on YouTube, right? Because the Lakers had 4 games this week. At the Phoenix Suns versus the Denver Nuggets at home. And then a 2-game road trip, a San Antonio Spurs and at Minnesota. 2 wins and 2 losses. Yeah. Phoenix Suns, 131-113 win. Denver Nuggets, 114-121 win. San Antonio Spurs, 110-106 loss. Minnesota Timberwolves, 124-120 loss. And don't let that 124-120 fool you. That game was long fucking gone. That game was long fucking gone after the 2-minute mark in the fucking fourth quarter. That game was fucking gone. And the commonality all of these games tend to be JaVale McGee is playing out of his fucking mind, and I love it. I love the fact that JaVale McGee is a 13 point, 8 rebounder, 4 or 5 assists a game, 2 blocks per, generally a block and a half per game kind of guy. And you got guys like Rondo, Lonzo, those guys are Ingram being the fucking pop stars of the night. But it's always about LeBron James. LeBron James. Like, dude, every fucking time. Every fucking time that I see LeBron James, even if he's having an off night, he's posting up like 27, 10, 8, 27, 10, 9, 27, or you know what? 29, fucking 11, 10. Like, he'll have fucking crazy, like, and these are nights where he's like, I don't know, I should maybe, whoop. He posts up 30 points willy-nilly. Games he tries, sometimes our pieces just don't do their fucking jobs. And the biggest takeaway I've had from this week, and boys and girls, I apologize if I'm screaming so much, but I'm very passionate. I'm very passionate about my team, okay? Defense and fucking rebounding. Holy fucking shit. Defense and fucking... How do we look so fucking soft in the fucking paint? How do we not get fucking rebounds? Like, I never understood this shit. Like, I get Julius Randle's mentality not being a favorable one for the Lakers. Why didn't we get, like, a power forward, big man kind of guy who can fucking get on the board and get those fucking rebounds? Because we look fucking soft doing it now. Oh my fucking God. It's embarrassing. We can't fucking rebound. Zoe can't rebound every fucking ball. Oh my God. At least last season, Julius was rebounding the fucking ball. Or Larry. Remember Larry Nance? He used to be a Laker. Jesus. And turnovers. Oh my God, bruh. Limit that shit. The turnovers, like, when our game is off, it is off. And the turnovers are disgusting. They are disgusting. And it really can't start from LeBron James on down. Or from down on up. I don't know what the fuck happens at times with this Lakers team, man. And you know what narrative, cherry on top of all this shit, the narrative that drives me fucking insane? Luke Walton is in the hot seat. Bullshit. Bullshit. I have numbers to back this shit up. 2016-17 season. 26-56 season. A 31.7% season. We weren't even in the playoffs. I believe we were 11th or fucking 12th seed. We were gunning for a fucking second round. We were gunning for a top 3 pick anyways. The whole talk was, we're going to draft Lonzo Ball. We're going to be drafting Lonzo Ball. We're going to be drafting Lonzo Ball, so D'Angelo Russell, bye-bye. And yeah, that season, this was Brandon Ingram's first season. This was also, Ivica Zubac's first season as well in the NBA. And D'Angelo Russell, Julius Randle, Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance Jr. Lou fucking Williams was in the goddamn team. Jesus Christ, do people forget what the fucking Lakers squad actually looked like? We looked fucking terrible. And then, guess what? Luke, in his second year, 2017-2018 season, 35-47 in a fucking stacked Western Conference. He added 9 more fucking wins. And we were 10th or 11th again. And this was Zoe, Kuz, and Josh Hart's first season. And they balled the fuck out. And we still lost. And you know what? To this I say, to the critics I still say this. Y'all don't watch Lakers games. Y'all don't. I watch a majority of these Lakers games. When you watch these Lakers games, it's kind of incredible how many of those games were so goddamn close. We're sitting here bitching about 2 and 5. I'm like, really? Really? Have you seen the previous guys? Oh, like, not to even fucking mention the 2015-16 season when Byron Scott was still our fucking head coach. I love Byron. He's a goddamn Lakers legend, but not a great head coach. Let's be honest. And I know the whole argument is, he was just escorting Kobe out, but I'm like, he doesn't know how to manage players. Simple as that. That's why he's a TV analyst now. That 2015-16 season, we had 17 fucking wins. So it's just one of those things. Like, really, are you guys like? Is ESPN fucking Fox? Do you guys have nothing else to talk about? Because I don't know if my math serves me fucking correctly. 17 wins, 26 wins, 35 wins. Oh, look, a positive correlation of every year. You keep going, you keep getting wins. What a fucking surprise. Wow, that's insane. Really, motherfuckers? Really? Good God. Good God. We're all idiots. Everyone's a fucking idiot. All right? So, guys, next week, let's all just calm it down. Because the Lakers are coming back home. And then we'll be on the road again. And then we're going to be back home. Because NBA scheduling. Fuck you. All right. Versus the Dallas Mavericks on Hallows Eve at the Portland Trail Blazers on November 3rd. And then at home against the Toronto Raptors on November 4th. Raptors have been looking insanely good. Portland Trailblazers obviously are studded over there. And the Dallas Mavericks, good surprise too. So we're going to have to see how the Lakers squad will be able to handle this. Other NBA news going on right now. Tyronn Lue fired from the Cleveland Cavaliers after an 0-6 start. Looks mostly like a schism between Lue and ownership, in my opinion. Dan Gilbert, a.k.a. Mr. Egomania. A lot of veteran players did not want to see Lue go, as indicated by their Twitter and, Instagram and shit. But egos happen. Egos fucking happen. And guys, the Golden Knights haven't looked so hot. Have not looked so hot. We ended the homestand 3 wins, 2 losses. Didn't look that great. 7 total points. Have not looked that great. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about these games. The Vancouver Canucks, it was a shootout loss. Markstrom, fantastic goaltender. This dude was outstanding, and it baffles me that he didn't get any fucking star marks. This guy was fucking incredible. Marc-Andre Fleury, great game for Flower. 24 saves on 26 shots, 923. But unfortunately, unlucky in the shootout. Goal scorers, Horvat, because, Horvat, he's pretty damn good. Pacioretty and Reeves scores for Vegas, but here's the thing. Pacioretty is out. He's day-to-day, which sucks. And, I could talk about these games. And I do, boys and girls. I do. Vancouver was a shootout loss. And the simple thing was, we could have closed it out. We totally could have, but we didn't. The loss to Tampa Bay Lightning's 3-2. You know what the story of that game was? We fucked up the second period. We didn't do shit in the second period. And we lost 3-2. Didn't concede the empty netter, but we lost 3-2. William Karlsson got a goal, power play goal, which I bitch about all the time. Our power play goal percentage is ridiculously disgusting. And it's one of those things where I'm just like, you know what? I'm bummed out. I'm bummed out. Because our defense isn't looking that good. We don't help Flower. Our defense isn't helping out Flower. And even in the overtime win against the Ottawa Senators, I wasn't wholly convinced. And because I'm posting this late, I was able to watch a Nashville Predators game, which we lost, and I will talk about in the match. And I talked about this in the match review, and I will talk about it in the next week's podcast. But here's the commonality in all of this thing. We concede way too many fucking goals. We get so sloppy on the passing on defense, and we just don't know how to fucking clear the puck. Okay? And every time I'm watching these guys, I love these guys. I do. I really do. When Cody Eakin got knocked the fuck out by Borovetsky, I don't know what the fuck his name is. He served a 3-game. He's gonna serve a 3-game suspension. I was so fucking mad because I love these guys. But when they make mistakes, I'm gonna be one of the first ones to admit it. Like, dude, yo, they made a fucking mistake. They did. They weren't playing that great. Okay, they really weren't. And honestly, power plays, defense, is something that they absolutely have to work on. They absolutely have to work on this. I don't know what else to say. Our shots, we've had so many shots, but so little goals. What's going on? We need to figure this shit out. But let's talk about some positives and some other news. Some of the positives, Alex Tuck was back this week, and he scored 2 goals in 1 game. Hooray! I love Alex Tuck. I love the fact that he's back. Bischoff sent back to the AHL Chicago Wolves. Best of luck to him. And Nate Schmidt signs a 6-year deal. 5.9 average on a yearly basic extension after the Canucks game. And he is still in Vienna. I love this deal. If he is able to develop into the kind of high caliber defenseman. But I hear the argument against all these long-term deals. You guys are locking yourselves in. You guys are trapping yourselves because of loyalty. I get the argument. I do. But it's one of those let's wait and see kind of things. I really do think that. Be patient. This is our 2nd year. Let's just be a little patient. I know I'm angry. I know I'm frustrated. But let's just be a little patient. Because next week, like I talked about the Nashville game, and then... God, I know, I get bummed out when I already know the fucking results. And then at the St. Louis Blues, November 1st, and the Carolina Hurricanes, November 3rd. I will be at the game, and it will be, hopefully, a good game, despite the fact that, yes, the Carolina Hurricanes have started real hot. Real hot. But let's talk about some hot things going on in the NHL right now. Brian Boyle announced his cancer is in remission. Leukemia was announced last year. Congratulations, sir. What a fucking outstanding gentleman. The guy is a trooper. That's fucking awesome to hear. The NHL announces sports betting partnership with MGM. Fantastic for sports betting. Fantastic for the NHL. That's only going to gain your sports more popularity and shit. So good for you. Good for the NHL. That's going to be good. You know what's not good? The Dodgers. Okay, congratulations to the Boston Red Sox, guys, on beating my Los Angeles Dodgers in the World Series in 5 games. Again, guys, congratulations, Boston Red Sox. Nothing but respect for the better team. These dudes were stacked. I'm not even mad at that shit. The one thing to note about this series and the Dodgers, that stirred up optimism for all of us. We were down 2-0 in the series, and then Game 3 was the longest game ever in World Series history. 18 innings. Game started at 5:07 p.m., ended at 12:32 a.m. 7 hours and 20 minutes. Max Muncy hit the whole solo home run. Ended of Game 3-2. However, Eovaldi from the Boston Red Sox pitched 97 pitches as a relief. Fantastic by him. Dude was lights out. Absolutely incredible. And again, congratulations, guys. And the Dodgers, we gotta get back. We gotta get back to doing our things, and let's just get better, please. Let's just get better. All right, guys. Remember, all weekly writing is in the links in the description below. Check that shit out. Weekly writing number 41. Tragic comedy, actually. Last meal, journal style. Last entry for a prisoner. Comedy's all relative, kids. Speaking of comedy. Weekly film, number 41. Monty Python's Life of Brian. A baby called Brian. Yes, Monty Python's Life of Brian. Guys, I'll go to the theaters this week. I'll try. All right, guys. We follow the life of Brian, such an aptly named title, as he tries to live his life during the time of Christ and the Roman-occupied Judea. It's crazy how much history research the Monty Python crew actually did for this movie. They searched a lot of his historical scholar books and all those things. Absolutely incredible. Also, the amount of controversy this movie faced during its time of release back in 1979 Incredible, absolutely incredible. A lot of theaters try to censor this movie just because it was quote unquote blasphemous. When in fact, when they actually watch the movie, they actually don't parody Christ at all. They portray him in a very, dignified light. And the only real joke there is a couple of people in the back when Christ is doing the sermon. I forget. I don't follow the religion here anymore as closely as I used to back in high school. But they have the scene where they're like, "What's he saying?" They're on the far back. That's the only comedy part about it. And to me, there really isn't much of a plot so much there is just a lot of satire and observation, which to that extent, I mean, this movie is brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And that's what you have to take it for. It's a huge satire humor movie. And it does its job so goddamn well. And let's not forget the reason why it happens so. The characters. Brian, the titular character, is played by the brilliant Graham Chapman. I'm going to steal a quote from the Monty Python documentary. I believe it's called The Lawyer's Cut. Yeah, that's how much I'm obsessed with these cats. Trust me. Other cast members, so the quote. Okay, so other cast members have quoted him saying, Graham Chapman is hilarious when serious, like kind of deal. And you can see it in his eyes, just the seriousness to how he acts performed. It's fantastic. And other cast members, yes, they are just as hilarious. John Cleese, this dude is just a legend. He's amazing. John Terry, the director, and Brian's mom, the shrill female voice is too hilarious. He does that a lot. It's fucking awesome. Eric Idle, the sing-song genius, created the song and produced the song. Always look on the bright side of life. Producer, yeah, he composed. Produced the musical there. Always look on the bright side of life. Michael Palin, the most underappreciated cat, and he really is so amazing at making the alien seem so familiar. The crucifixion check-in guy. Crucifixion, and just letting the guys go in a line. It's just like the bureaucracy that he brings. It's just so fucking funny. And Terry Gilliam, the usual animator, brings his animation brilliance along with his outlandish comedy and just, oh my God. These guys are just awesome. Okay? And visually, Terry Jones creates a nice visual landscape to complement the hilarious film. And it felt really authentic because, yeah, they shot on location. And music, decent track by Jeffrey Burgon. And some miscellaneous shit about this film here. This movie really does reflect the modern special interest ridiculousness that goes on in this world, like especially in politics and shit. And the one particular scene is the Judea front, People's Front of Judea, like the fucking argument there. It totally paints the whole idea of political parties. And I'm just like, this is hilarious because you guys are arguing the same stupid shit. And I'm telling you, this movie is still so fucking good. If you watch it now, this movie is fucking genius. And I have to give this movie a 9.5. Okay, I really do. It's not my favorite Monty Python movie. Like, that's Holy Grail. No ifs, ands, or buts. That is my favorite Monty Python movie. But Monty Python's Life of Brian is a comedy masterpiece that stands the test of time while also being a great film on its own head. Really is. Album of the week, aesthetically it is, absolutely. Album of the week, Monty Python Sings by Monty Python. I'm super obsessed with these guys. I got the Monty Python fever. I really gotta sing this shit out loud sometimes, and it happens. It's just too funny. My favorite track on this thing, Every Sperm is Sacred. Come on. You can't go wrong with that song. Or it could also be the medical song where they list all the genital diseases that you can have. Oh my God. The med track for me, the Lumberjack song. Because the way they segue it into TV, it's just great. But as a standalone track, it just doesn't work for me. At least for me. Fun tidbits, despite only being out for decades, again, still relevant. This is the brilliance of Monty Python. Legends go beyond time. That's the craziest shit. Absolutely some crazy shit. But guys, want to talk about something a little bit on the bummer side here. I know we talked about comedy. I know we talked about all these things, but there's some fucked up shit going on in this world, man. The world is fucked up. In Pittsburgh, earlier this week, a synagogue was shot up with 8 folks, dead, shot dead, and, absolutely disgusting. This whole anti-Semitism thing, man, it's a fucking shame. This is a fucking shame. And to the folks of Pittsburgh, man, we're with you, man. We're with you. Stay strong out there, folks, because this hate shit, it's disgusting, man. It's got to stop. It's not gonna stop, but we got to figure out a way to try to limit shit like this, man. You can't have these fucking killings, bro. You just can't. These mass killings, these massive shootings, this is ridiculous. Frankly, it's fucking disgusting. And there are times, I defend the president. I do. But there are times like this where I'm just like, what are we doing about gun control, man? There's a lot of things a lot of my friends will say you kind of have a right-wing opinion on. But gun control for me is the iffiest shit. Like, it's always been the iffiest shit for me. And again, the shootings, these massive shootings, this has got to stop. This is outrageous. This is ridiculous. Hate crime, massive shootings, bro. I don't know. It just drives me nuts. But again, stay safe out there, guys. And Pittsburgh, we're with you. We're all with you. And we hope that everything gets better. And yeah, it's just disgusting, man. It's just absolutely disgusting. But guys, let's end this. Let's end this podcast on a positive note. Okay, let's try to bring a little bit of positive juice back in to your lives. Saturday, I went to a wedding of one of my buddies, one of my real good buddies. Congratulations to my friend Desiree and her husband Steve. I'm so happy for you guys. I absolutely love going to weddings. I really do. The union of two people just being so happy at that moment, and just the scenery was great too. We're in Lake Las Vegas, overlooking the lake, right? Just the way the wedding arc looked, it was fantastic. The moment they just, said their vows, it was fucking phenomenal. It was a great fucking day. And I mean, this is the thing. I really do love weddings. The atmosphere, the vibe, the ceremony. And yes, I'm a fat ass, so I love the food. Okay, so fuck you. Don't judge me. But next week, guys, at the Sky Lounge, November is coming hose. So, all right, folks, this is going to be it for me. Thank you so much for joining me this week. Guys, make sure you are subscribed on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Music for a new episode every Tuesday. Make sure to follow me on YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook at The Sky Lounge. Stalk me on Snapchat at DA13IG5EUNG.